Marshall. You just getting home from school?
Yep.
What you got in there?
Just my books and my gym clothes.
Haven't you been home yet?
No, not yet. Is Max around?
No, honey. He's mowing the pasture.
Already?
Mm-hmm. I tell him you came by, though.
That's okay. I'll go look for him.
Sweetheart, don't you want your bags?
Oh, no. I'll be back.
Mr. Shaw, I'm not interested in Paige's fantasies about a film career.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Mrs. Wheeler. You see, I was hoping I might persuade you to invest in the next film I'd like to make.
What in the world would make you think that? No, don't bother to answer. Let me dispel any illusion you may have in that respect. I wouldn't put up the money
Mrs. Wheeler, you didn't let me finish. Paige is to be the star of my new film.
And you didn't let me finish. I wouldn't put up the money for anything Paige was starred in if she were the next Greta Garbo and you were Cecil B. DeMille. Is that clear?
Well, I think you might change your mind if you could see an example of Paige's past work in film.
It wouldn't affect my feelings at all.
I just happen to have a few publicity stills here from Paige's last film, Mrs. Wheeler. If you take a look at them, you'll be impressed, I promise. Go on, open it.
Why would you show me this filth?
Because they're for sale, Mrs. Wheeler.
Hey, Lane, I got some good news. I just got back from L&R Studios, and everything is arranged. I'll tell you, we're going to record your demo tape at the end of this week. Lane, are you in there? What the?
Texas, starring Beverly McKenzie.
Where did you get these disgusting photographs?
As I told you, there are publicity stills from the last film Paige did for me.
I should have expected as much from Paige's film career. Is this the sort of film you expect me to invest in? Because if it is, I'll show you the door right
Mrs.
now.
Wheeler, I certainly wouldn't expect you to invest in such a film. No, I'm making an offer of a much more respectable nature.
The look of the pictures you showed me, I doubt that you know what the word respectable means.
Then you're not interested in making this investment?
I most certainly am not.
That's too bad. I guess I'll just have to show this example of my work to someone else.
What do you mean?
Well, if you're not amenable to this offer, I'll just have to look for funding elsewhere.
Are you intending to show those pictures around town indiscriminately?
Only if I have to, Mrs. Wheeler.
This is blackmail.
You can call it what you like. I think of it merely as a business proposition.
I should call the authorities and have you arrested.
But you won't, will you?
How much do you expect me to give you?
Oh, I was thinking somewhere in the neighborhood of $1 million.
$1 million?
I know it's not very much. It's just for pre-production costs, of course.
Surely you don't think I can lay my hands on that sort of money?
On the contrary, Mrs. Wheeler, I think you could lay your hands on a lot more if you needed to. Come now, Mrs. Wheeler, let's not play games. Besides, don't think of it as you're giving your money away. Think of it as an investment.
What kind of investment?
An investment in your son Dennis's future. Or even better, an investment in keeping the Wheeler name clean.
Hello?
Jim? It's Pete.
Yeah, Pete. What's up?
You spoken with Shaw yet?
Oh, yeah. Haven't had time.
Does it look like you think he's gonna go for it?
Well, I can't be sure. He will if he knows what's good for him. Shaw's pretty stubborn in that respect. You sound anxious. Something wrong?
Something's coming up.
Well, not more trouble with World Oil, I hope. Thought we had that pretty much under control.
No, that's taken care of. As long as Alex Wheeler and that reporter guy seem satisfied.
Well, last I heard, Justin Marshall dropped his investigation. So what's the problem?
We've got a drug deal going down in Morocco.
Yeah, we have a tanker scheduled to dock at Casablanca tomorrow, don't we?
Yeah, the Northern Star. Made it to port ahead of day of schedule.
Well, then what's the problem?
Well, that deal fell through the last time. Remember, we thought it was all set. At the last minute, the guys pulled out. We don't want that to happen again.
You think there's a chance they might pull out this time?
I don't know, but I just got through talking to them on the phone, and he sounds pretty shaky.
This deal's very important.
I know. That's why I'm thinking of flying to Morocco to take care of it.
Yeah, the drop's in Marrakesh, right?
That's right.
Maybe I should go there myself. Take care of it once and for all. Now, if we're going to keep using this connection, we're going to have to make sure it's a bit more dependable.
Sounds good to me. But what about Shaw?
Well, I'll go see him right away. See if I can get that settled. And Pete, if Shaw agrees, I may need you in Houston for a while. Keep him in line.
I'm waiting for an answer, Mrs. Wheeler.
You must understand, Mr. Shaw, that $1 million is not easy for me to come up with. Not on the spur of the moment.
You might try selling a few of the jewels I see you wearing in the society pages. Or if you can't bear to part with your jewels, you might try selling a few of the little trinkets around your house here.
My husband is very observant. He would notice if anything were missing. He'd demand an explanation.
Well, I don't care how you come up with the money, Mrs. Wheeler, as long as you come up with it.
I'll need some time to think about it.
Fine. Only I'd advise you against waiting too long. I'm sure that other investors wouldn't be very hard to find.
What do you mean by other investors?
Well, any film starring Alex Wheeler's daughter-in-law is a very hot property.
I will give you my answer as soon as possible.
Fine. I think I'd better hold on to those. If you don't mind, just for safekeeping, Mrs. Wheeler. I'm sure you understand.
If those are publicity stills, as you say, where is the film?
In a safe place.
How do I know there really is a film?
Well, you've seen the publicity stills, haven't you? And if that won't suffice, I guess you'll just have to trust me.
You must realize you are not one who instills trust in people.
Well, if you have any doubts, you could always ask Paige. I'm sure she'd corroborate everything that I've told you.
I will be in touch with you.
Fine. Only don't wait too long, Mrs. Wheeler. I could go to other investors.
I understood you the first time.
Fine. If you'll give me your phone number, I'll be in touch with you and see if you've reached a decision.
You don't really expect me to give you my phone number, do you?
Would you prefer that I visit you again?
Certainly not. I'll have to call you.
Fine. Only, don't make it too long, Mrs. Wheeler. Nice talking to you.
Damn it, Bernie, you gotta quit sneaking up on people like that.
I'm sorry about that, old buddy, but I didn't know who it was at first.
Well, who'd you think it was? You heard me hollering, didn't you?
Yeah, but I thought maybe somebody might be with you.
Now, who'd be with me?
Chris,
Use your brain, Bernie. Now, why would I bring Chris here, huh?
you do work for the guy.
Elena can't stand the guy. And I know you're hanging out here, so I wouldn't bring him over here. I wouldn't do that to you, buddy.
Better be on the safe side.
Yeah? Well, next time, try and be on the smart side, okay? Besides, I think you're making too much out of this whole business about Chris finding out about you being back in Houston.
You just don't count on that, all right?
You still get all that money you showed me the other night, didn't you?
Uh-huh.
So you don't need Chris for a job then.
Yeah, I'm glad I don't have to go back and run that dump.
So why are you still worried, huh? What can Chris do?
Let's just say I don't want to find out.
I still think you're overreacting to the whole thing.
Look, the last message I got from Chris Shaw was the night he sprung me from jail after the police raided the porno studio. And that message said, beat it down to Mexico and don't come back.
Well, it seems to me that he just wanted you out of town while things were hot.
No, you're wrong, Billy Joe. He's afraid I'm gonna make a deal with the cops, squeal on him, tie him into the porno operation.
He can't expect you to stay in Mexico forever.
Yeah, maybe. But he sure wants me to stay the hell away from Houston.
Then why did you come back here, Bernie?
Because I got a little business of my own to attend to. And that, my friend, is where you come into the picture.
Is that man gone, Mrs. Wheeler?
Yes, Vivian.
Well, who was he anyway?
Someone you don't want to know.
Yeah, well, I think I do know him. I could swear I've seen him before somewhere.
No, I don't. I don't think so, Vivian. I doubt that you have ever crossed paths with the likes of him.
Yes, I have, too. It was here, at Dennis's wedding reception. He's a friend of Mr. and Mrs. Carrington's.
Of Mrs. Carrington. And I am not certain how good a friend.
Well, she must know him pretty well to invite him to her wedding reception.
I'm sure she did.
Mrs. Wheeler, I just hope you're not planning on getting too friendly with this Mr. whatever his name is.
Shaw. Christopher Shaw.
With this Mr. Christopher Shaw, because to tell you the truth, he gives me the creeps.
I have no intention of becoming friendly with the man.
Well, what a relief.
I can't imagine you're thinking I would be on friendly terms with such a creature.
Because I realize and I understand that you have to be friendly with friends of Mrs. Carrington's. You can't very well turn them away at the door.
Perhaps that's exactly what I should have done.
Why do you say that? Did he give you some kind of trouble of some kind?
Some kind, yes.
Well, I just wish Mr. Shaw had been here when Mr. Wheeler was here, because Mr. Wheeler would certainly know how to handle him.
Vivian, listen, you must not mention Mr. Shaw's visit to anyone, particularly not to Mr. Wheeler.
If you say not to, I won't.
I most definitely say not to.
What did Mr. Shaw want? I understood at this reception that he was some kind of film producer.
Yes, he wanted me to invest in a film.
Well, that'd be different for you.
Investing in films can be very dangerous.
Oh, you mean risky? I've heard that. I've also heard that sometimes you can get a terrific return on your investment.
Yes. You have a point.
What are you going to do?
Calling Rena.
Oh.
Hello?
Rena, it's Iris. How are you?
Oh, fine, Iris, but I really can't talk now. I'm in the middle of something.
Well, I won't keep you long. I was just hoping you could come into town for a little tea and gossip.
Oh, honey, I can't. I really can't. I'm just too busy.
Rena, you can't disappoint me. I was counting on it.
Well, honey, you'll just have to uncount because I'm in the middle of baking a cake and I can't leave.
Well, can't you come in when the thing is done?
Honey, I can't. Look, if you're really set on having a nice little talk, why don't you just come out here and visit me?
To the cabin?
Yes. I'll even brew us some tea.
Well, all right, I suppose I'll have to.
Good. Look forward to seeing you. Bye.
I'm not so sure that picture you're talking about is one I want to fit into, Bernie.
So why don't you just wait until you hear all the particulars?
I don't need to, man. I spent 3 years in Huntsville prison, and I can smell trouble even before it opens the door.
I'm not talking trouble.
No? Anybody walking around with $20,000 in their pocket and sneaking around the way you do can't be up to no good.
I need your help, Billy Joe.
Yeah, I can just imagine.
Well, why don't you just listen? You see, I got this really great plan for making a lot of money, only if I gotta keep track of Chris Shaw's whereabouts, it just cuts my mobility way down.
You can save your talking, Bernie. Because the money I'm making right now just suits me fine.
I'm not talking about the chicken feed you're making. I'm talking about the big time. I'm talking about making millions.
In case you don't know about it, Bernie, I'm headed for the big time, and I'm gonna make my own millions.
Oh, if you mean managing Elena's singing career, you can just forget it. That's all luck. It's one chance in 100,000.
Yeah? Well, in that case, I guess I just better be lucky then, huh?
Well, what if I told you? What would you say if I told you that what I'm talking about is a sure thing?
I'd say I wasn't interested.
Why are you being so stubborn when I'm offering you 10 times what you could ever make managing Elena's singing career?
Doing what?
Selling things.
Selling what sort of things?
Oh. Happiness.
Happiness.
Yeah, sure. You want to see people happy, don't you?
You're talking about drugs, ain't you?
Yeah, so what?
Look, Bernie, that ain't happiness. That's misery, man. Misery that more people have ever seen, ever want to see. You understand me, huh?
Oh, come on, man!
I seen those guys going cold turkey in Huntsville, man. I seen them. Laying there, cold sweats, man, convulsions. More pain than you ever had. No, Bernie, I don't want none of that. You got that? I'd rather be pumping gas in a filling station.
Yeah, well, that's exactly where you're gonna end up then, with your stupid ideas about show business.
And that's the way it's gonna be, man. Because I don't want no part of drugs. You got that, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, okay. I got that. I don't want to push nobody into anything they don't want to do. And I won't mention it again, all right?
It's fine with me. You're wrong about Elaine and me. We're gonna do some great things.
You really believe that?
Yeah, I really believe that.
Well, I gotta give this to you, Billy Joe. You sure got big plans.
I got big plans, and I got big dreams, more than that. We're already started, buddy. With that demo tape, we're gonna lay down a good track, too, this week.
Yeah, great. Takes a lot of money to get a singing career going.
I know that. But me and Elena, we got a backer. A guy named Jim Lawrence from Galveston.
Who?
This guy named Jim Lawrence is gonna fit the whole bill of $3,000 for that master demo that we're cutting with Elena.
Yeah, great.
What's wrong?
Huh? Nothing.
Do you know Mr. Lawrence?
Huh? No, never heard of him.
Then why are you looking that way?
What are you talking about? I'm just surprised that you found somebody so quick to put up the money, that's all.
Well, that's what a manager's supposed to do. Actually, I'm getting pretty good at that sort of thing.
Hey, listen, just forget about that offer I made before, okay?
What?
You know, about the happiness and all. Tell you the truth, it was all just talk. You know how I am when I get going, I just get carried away. I didn't mean nothing by it, okay?
Billy Joe, we're... Oh. Hi, Bernie.
Hi, Elena. What you got there?
Well, it's a lamp. I'm trying to fix up this place because Billy Joe wants to use the trailer when we go on tour.
Oh, yeah, he told me about that, and I said it was okay if you used it till I need it again.
Yeah? Hey, that's real nice.
Where are you gonna put that thing, anyway?
Well, I was going to put it over there by the couch, but there's a problem.
Oh, yeah?
When I took it out of the closet before and tried to plug it in, it didn't work.
Oh, did you try to put the light bulb in and wiggle it around a little bit?
Yes, and it didn't help.
Well, maybe the wire just came loose from the socket.
Well, does that mean we have to throw it away?
No, you just take the socket out and then you rewire it, that's all.
Well, could you do that for me, Billy Joe?
Elena, I don't know a thing about lamps.
Here, give it to me, I'll do it.
Well, I hate to have you do something like that.
Oh, that's all right, don't worry about it.
Hey, look, if you two will excuse me, I got some work to do over at the chicken coop.
Well, wait, I'll get my purse and I'll go with you.
No, don't be ridiculous. Rehearsal ain't for a couple hours yet. Why don't you just sit here and relax and you can watch Bernie do exciting things with the lamp over there. I'll see you folks. Later.
Mr. Lawrence, what a coincidence. I was just about to call you.
Oh?
Was thinking about the offer you made me.
And?
I'd like to know a little bit more about it.
Well, I had the impression earlier that you weren't interested.
Well, I've had a chance to think about it. Perhaps I spoke too hastily.
What made you change your mind?
Well, when you made the offer, I had another deal in the works, but it's going to take a little bit longer than I thought.
A deal I might be able to help you with?
No, it isn't. Why don't you just tell me a little bit more about this offer? What does it involve?
Well, just, let's say it's something you've had previous experience with.
I'm out of the porno business, if that's what you're referring to.
No, I'm not referring to the porno business.
Then what is it?
Well, I've been doing a little checking on you, Shaw. It's something I always do before commencing any business arrangement. I found out you had a little drug traffic going in L.A.
Yes, very little. I supplied a few pills to several producer friends of mine for parties or to keep their actors happy, but it was strictly a part-time venture among friends.
Yes, well, this be a full-time venture.
I'm surprised that a man of your standing would be involved in drugs.
I'm involved in a lot of things, Shaw. This is just one of our little enterprises.
Where do I fit in?
Well, we're having a problem with distribution here in Houston.
I'm not sure that I care to deal in drugs again.
No.
How much are you offering?
The job offers, let's say, high dividends.
How high?
That depends on you, how hard you work.
So, what's on your mind?
You grew up with the Marshall family, didn't you?
Well, we were sort of chummy when we were in high school. Not real close, except Justin, of course. But then we would go to dances and football games
I'm not
together.
concerned with their social life.
Then what?
I want to know about Paige.
What about her?
Anything you can tell me.
Iris, if this is part of your scheme to make trouble for Dennis and Paige...
Rena, I did not drive all the way out here for a lecture. Please, I need some information.
Okay, then be more specific.
I want to know about Paige's Hollywood career.
Now, I understand that you'll want to think about this offer, but you must understand that we got to move quickly on this. Now, I got a lot of things I must take care of, and I won't be in Houston much longer.
Does that mean that I'll be working on my own?
Well, I think I'm going to bring an associate of mine to Houston.
I see, and who is that?
You'll know everything you need to know once you've made a decision.
Mm-hmm. And if I say no?
You say no, well, I guess we just have to get somebody else to help us.
Hey, boss, it's liquor delivery man.
Billy Joe, how many times have I told you to knock before you come in here?
But I did knock, Mr. Shaw.
You knock and then you wait until I say come in.
Sorry, I'll remember that.
Good to see you again, Billy Joe.
Yeah, it's good to see you too, Mr. Lawrence.
You two know each other?
Yes, Billy Joe and I are working together now. Hadn't I mentioned that, Chris? How forgetful of me.
Seems like Billy Joe forgot to mention it, too.
Oh, Billy Joe was merely following my instructions. I had asked that I be the one to tell you. But in the midst of our discussion, it just completely slipped my mind.
May I ask what kind of work Billy Joe does for you?
Well, it's not really that kind of arrangement.
What kind of an arrangement is it?
I've invested in Billy Joe's client.
Elena Decker?
Yes, I got a good feeling about Billy Joe. I think he's a very enterprising young man.
Yes, I'm beginning to think so myself.
I also think that he's going to go a long way.
Oh, hey, boss, there's a liquor delivery man out back. He says he's got to talk to you.
Tell him I'll be there in a minute.
Okay.
So, Billy Joe.
Yes, sir.
You mentioned that I might be able to drop by some evening and hear Elena sing.
Well, yes, sir, I did.
How about tonight?
Oh, well, sure. Tonight'd be fine. You know, Elena's going to have a rehearsal In just about an hour, I could hurry him up if you're in a rush, Mr. Lawrence.
No, I can wait.
Well, great, then we'll see you over by the bandstand in about an hour.
Right.
All right.
I don't like this little alliance that you've arranged without my knowledge.
I didn't ask you to like it. Now, Billy Joe's a very smart young man. He enjoys working for me. You could learn a lot from Billy Joe. Now, I just think I'm gonna have myself a little look around the place.
So, Paige lived on the money her father sent her, as far as I know.
Did you ever correspond with her?
Oh, no, we were never that close. I doubt that Paige kept in touch with anybody except her father, whenever she needed money.
Didn't any news trickle into Houston about her activities in Hollywood?
I really wouldn't know that, honey. You see, I was in Bay City for part of that time, and I didn't hear any news for months.
This isn't much help.
Wait a second. Stryker did tell me that Mike Marshall had invested a great deal of money in a film that Paige was supposed to star in.
You don't know what kind of film?
No, but Stryker said her father had invested a couple of million. He went bankrupt, and the film was never made. As far as I know, right after her father died, she left Hollywood and came back to Houston.
Do you know if she ever really worked in a film?
I think she had some small parts on TV, you know, movies of the week, that sort of thing. But I don't think she ever actually made a film that was shown in a movie house. I think if she did, she probably would have told everyone in town. Don't you think? Iris, why are you so concerned about Paige's movie career? Is she thinking about resuming her career? Is that what's got you so worried?
Well, hello, Iris. What brings you all the way out here?
Hello, Max.
Girl talk.
Yeah? What about?
Paige?
You know, she settled down quite a bit since she married Dennis. I think Dennis is the nicest thing that ever happened to Paige.
So, Max, how are things out on the range?
Just fine. Couldn't be better. I got my ranch, my wife. What else could a man ask for?
Yes, well, I hope you can come into town some night this week and have dinner with Alex and me.
I'll call you, Iris.
Well, I have to be going.
We haven't finished talking yet, honey.
Oh, well, listen, if you two still got some girl talk to do, I can make myself scarce.
No, I really have to be getting back into town. I'll call you later, Rena. Nice seeing you, Max.
Oh, same here.
Goodbye, honey. Iris was acting very strange.
Well, she always acts strange, if you ask me.
Max.
Well, I just don't understand people like her.
I don't know what you mean by that. I think Iris is a lovely person.
Well, I suppose you're right. But I still don't understand her. I mean, she never does anything.
Well, what do you think she should do?
I don't know. Something. Volunteer work at the hospital. Something like that.
She happens to have a lot of social responsibilities, being Alex Wheeler's wife. Besides, what she does with her own time, I really think is her business.
Yeah, I suppose you're right.
Should we accept Iris's invitation to have dinner? You get along with Alex, don't you?
Sure. Alex is a great guy. Just soon not have dinner with him, though.
You know, you really frightened me sneaking around the trailer the other night.
Yeah, Billy Joe told me about that. I'm sorry.
Well, why didn't you come in? I mean, it is your trailer.
Well, you were with your brother, Ricky, the cop. Besides, I just didn't think it was a very good idea.
Well, why is that?
Because I don't want anyone to know I'm back in town.
You mean Chris?
Yeah, I mean especially Chris.
Well, I can't blame you for that. But I wouldn't have said anything, and I know Ricky wouldn't have.
Yeah, maybe. But I'd just as soon be on the safe side. That's why I make it a point not to go out till after sundown.
That's not exactly a very pleasant way to live your life.
Yeah, well, it's just temporary. Well, here we go. Good as new.
Thanks, Bernie. That's real sweet of you.
Don't mention it.
Hey, Bernie. If you're so scared, why'd you come back to Houston?
Because I didn't want to spend the rest of my life rotting down in good old Mexico, that's why. Besides, I got big plans.
Yeah, Billy Joe always says he's got big plans, too. Except his usually fall through.
You think they will this time?
I don't know.
Sounds like Billy Joe's making real good progress with your singing career. I bet you're real excited about making that demo.
Yeah, I am. I'm also real scared, too. I mean, I might be the reason that Billy Joe's plans backfire this time.
Oh, I don't think so. What makes you say that?
He's got so much faith in me, Bernie. And that's wonderful. I mean, I never had that before. I mean, nobody in my family ever thought I'd amount to anything. And now...
Now what?
Well, I just hope that I don't let Billy Joe down, that's all.
I don't think you will. I heard you singing over at the Coop lots of times, remember, and I think you've got a real nice voice.
Thanks for saying that,
It's
Bernie.
true.
It takes more than just a pretty voice. You have to have mystique. Like those people in the magazines I keep reading about.
Oh, I don't know about that. I think if you check behind all that glamour stuff, you see that most of those stars are people just like you. People with some talent who want to make something of themselves. That's the key, you know, the wanting of it. You got to work for it real hard to get it.
You really think that's true?
Oh, I know it's true.
Well, I want to be somebody, and I'm not afraid of working hard for it. Yeah, I want to show Max and Maggie and Ricky that I am somebody.
All right. With Billy Joe's enthusiasm and your sweet voice, you're gonna go a long, long way.
Max, I am trying to make our marriage work. Now, I haven't been in town for days. I haven't even called Stryker. I'm trying to take care of the cabin and you, but I can't...
What?
Darling, you can't expect me to stay here all day and all night, week in and week out.
Well, then I'll take you out to dinner. Now, how's that?
I don't think that's the point.
Well, then, tell me what is the point? I mean, are you tired of being alone with me?
Of course not. Don't you ever think that?
Well, then what is it?
I would just like to have some of my friends here once in a while.
Meaning Iris and Alex?
Yes, among others.
Well, then why don't we just have them over here for supper?
I don't think that's a very good idea.
Well, why not? It makes perfect sense to me. That way we can all be together, which is what you want. And then you and I, we won't have to get all dressed up and drive all the way into town. Now, what do you want for dinner? Barbecue?
I bought pork chops for supper.
Hey, buddy boy, how you doing?
Max, I've been looking all over for you.
Hey, calm down. I'm here. What's the problem?
We're supposed to cut the pasture together this afternoon.
Oh, yeah, I know. But I got all hung up with a brand new foal. You should see her. She's real pretty.
Can't we do it now?
Tomorrow. Besides, it's almost supper time.
Can I have supper with you?
Dee, honey, haven't you been home since I last saw you?
No, I've been looking for Max.
Oh, well, you can have supper with us as long as it's all right with your mom and dad.
It's okay.
You'd better give him a call.
I'm sure it's okay.
I'll take care of it.
Hi, Mr. Lawrence.
Well, Elena, how are you?
I'm fine. Billy Joe tells me you're going to sit in on rehearsal this afternoon.
Well, if you think that's all right.
Well, sure. I mean, after all, you're the one who's putting up all this money for the demo. I mean, you should know what you're investing in.
I thought you'd be wearing that cute little costume you had on when you and Billy Joe came over to my hotel room.
No, I don't wear that during rehearsals. I only wear my costumes for the shows.
Well, I sure am looking forward to seeing you perform.
Well, maybe you could stop by tonight, if you can.
Well, I might just do that. All depends on some business I might have to take care of earlier this evening. You looking forward to making the demo?
Oh, very much. I'm a little nervous about it, though.
Well, you don't have to be. With your looks, you can go a long way.
Thanks. Billy Joe says the same thing. I just hope I don't let you all down.
Well, I'd like to get to know a bit more about the person I've invested in.
You mean me?
Perhaps we can talk over dinner some night.
Sure. It's all right with me.
What's all right with you, darling?
Well, Mr. Lawrence wanted to know if we could have dinner with him one night.
Well, sure, Mr. Lawrence, anytime you want. Hey, Andy's ready up there, darling. I think you better go get started, huh?
Okay.
Actually, Billy Joe, I was thinking more in terms of just the two of us for dinner.
The two of us?
Elena and me.
Oh, I see. Well, I'll tell you, Mr. Lawrence, I mean, with the afternoon schedule, afternoon rehearsal, and 2 shows a night, I think her whole schedule's a little full right now.
That's all right. I can wait until the time it's not so full. I'm a patient man.
Well, did you think of a name for that new foal yet?
No.
Well, you better hurry up. Otherwise, she'll grow up without a name and never know who she is.
Max.
Well, it's true. I once knew a horse, never got a name, grew up not knowing who he was, traveling around from stable to stable, asking everybody, who am I?
My dad thinks it's dumb to give animals names.
He does.
He got mad at me because I named that heifer Morning Glory, and because I worry about her all the time.
Well, I don't think Barrett's upset about that.
He thinks it's wrong to treat all the animals as pets.
Well, listen, big fella, you know, that can be a problem when it comes time to sell the animals, because, after all, this is a working ranch, and we don't make no money if we don't sell the cattle off eventually.
I know that. But I don't see what's wrong with being friendly with the animals while they're here.
Well, if you're too friendly with them, it makes it more of a problem when it comes time to sell them.
I don't see any reason to sell Morning Glory.
Well, if she becomes a prize heifer, she'll probably bring in a lot of money.
Then I'll find a way to buy her myself.
Maybe Max and I can buy her. Well, why not, honey? We'd have our own milk. Now, that's practical.
I think it is.
Then stop worrying so much and help me with supper, okay?
Sure, Rena.
They say that our love has gone all wrong somehow. Why am I the last one to know?
All right, darling. Woo! See hot or see hot, huh?
How do you think that tempo was?
Great.
I think I want it a little slower.
That's the song we're going to record on the demo at the end of the week.
It sounds real nice.
Yeah, it's called It's All Over Town. A friend of Elena's wrote it. I think it's got a lot of potential, don't you?
Could be.
I think it's going to be a big hit.
Well, the way Elena looks, any song would sound good.
It's all over town, that it's all over now. Everyone's saying it's true.
It's all over town, that it's all over now. Damn kids. I swear. Messing things up again. I think the whole trailer park's one big playground for them.
Damn it, Billy Joel. Oh, he's just about scared me to death.
Yeah? Well, good. Now you know how it feels there, buddy. What are you doing outside the trailer anyways? I thought you were scared somebody was going to recognize you.
I had to get something to eat sometime. There wasn't anything in the fridge.
Well, Lena would have gone and got something for you.
It's all right. I just went down to the roadside place down the street. Besides, it is night.
You got to be more careful, Bernie. You'd be dead if I was the wrong kind of guy.
That's all right. I don't think anybody saw me. Hey, how'd the rehearsal go?
Yeah, it went fine, yeah.
All right, good.
Hey, why didn't you lock the door here, Bernie?
Of course I locked it.
No, you didn't. I mean, maybe you thought you did, but you didn't because it's unlocked, buddy.
I'm telling you, I locked the door.
You know, Bernie, you got to be more careful. I mean, me and Elena got stuff here we wouldn't want to have ripped off. What the? What happened here? What the hell's going on here?
You told Chris I was back in town, didn't you? Huh?
Man, you're crazy, man. I did no such thing.
I'm telling you, this is a warning.
Join us each weekday at this time for the continuing story of Texas.
How's the water situation on the West Range, Eddie?
Well, it's about the same. It's supposed to rain, though, so that should help.
I'm beginning to learn that water's more precious around here than oil.
For a cattleman, it is.
I'll be a cattlewoman when I buy Morning Glory.
You know, that's not funny, Rena. You shouldn't have told Steve you were going to buy that heifer.
Why? Oh, that poor kid thinks that Morning Glory is a pet. It would be a shame if it was sold to a stranger. If we own it, he can come here anytime he wants and see it.
Rena, we can't afford to buy it.
How much will it sell for?
Couple thousand, maybe less.
I can afford it, Max. If it makes Steve happy.
Rena, look, you just can't go around spending money to make everybody happy.
If I have the money, why not? Oh, that poor kid, he was nearly hysterical thinking that he might lose that cow.
Money's not the answer to everybody's problems.
Oh, it sure helps solve Steve's problem.
Steve's real problem is with his father, and I think we should stay out of it.
That kid came by here last night to get some comfort from you. Now, you couldn't very well turn your back on him, could you?
No. But I have to be careful. Barrett is his father.
And for those 5 years while Barrett was away, you were the closest thing that he had to a father. You told me that yourself.
I know.
So I think that Barry should be grateful to you. The kid had to turn to someone.
But his father is back now, and it's time for me to move out of the picture.
I think Barrett should appreciate anything we can do for Steve.
Maybe he should, Rena. But I'm not so sure he will.
You know what Max taught me last night, Mom? What, honey? He taught me how to make a knot in the rope so there's no way it can come undone.
Well, that's a pretty good thing to know how to do.
And he showed me some real neat rope tricks that he learned from Mr. Coleman.
Oh. Finish your breakfast now, Steve, okay?
Okay. I forgot to tell you. Max said he found some old boards up in the barn next to the cabin, and he said I could use them to build a shed for Morning Glory.
Steve, now, are you gonna build that thing by yourself?
Oh, no, Max will help me. He's real good at those kinds of things. You know Old Man Harper, the guy that lives next to Max and Rena's?
Yes?
Well, he used to be a gold prospector. And there's one story he knows. It's really funny.
What are you talking about, Steve?
Nothing, Dad.
Texas, starring Beverly McKinsey.
Would you like to have some more bacon, honey?
No thanks. I gotta get back to work.
Hey, you haven't forgotten that Steve invited himself over for supper again tonight, have you?
No, I haven't forgotten.
Well, what do you want to do about it?
I don't know. I'm gonna have to give it some more thought.
You like having him around, don't you?
Yeah, I sure do. I'm very fond of that boy. I like a lot of kids around the house. I'm used to it. I've helped raise Ricky and Elena. I'm looking forward to having some of my own one day.
You will, honey. Someday.
Well, I guess I better not get on that subject.
I'd rather you told me about what your family life is like.
You mean, about me raising Ricky and Elena?
No, I'd like to know a little more about your parents.
There's nothing much to tell.
I remember one thing you told me about them. They used to talk about everything under the sun.
Yeah.
I bet they were good friends, weren't they? Friendship between a husband and wife is what makes a marriage successful, Max.
Yeah. But some friendships end.
But your mother died. That didn't mean that she failed him in any way. It wasn't her fault, was it?
No. It wasn't. He died a year later. Broken heart.
He must have loved her very much.
Yeah.
It must have been very difficult on all of you kids. Especially Ricky and Elena, because they were so young.
Elena was only a year old when Mama left us.
That means that she doesn't remember either of her parents.
That's right.
What were they like?
Look, Rena, I'd like to shoot the breeze with you, but I can't. I gotta get to work.
Honey, every time I try to discuss your parents, you won't talk to me about them. I can't even talk to Kate about them. Why is that, Max?
Some things are better left unsaid.
You were talking about Mr. Harper when I came in, weren't you? You know, your grandfather went on a prospecting trip with him. You didn't know that, did you?
No, I didn't.
You know, I think I remember something about that. It was up in Colorado, wasn't it?
That's right. And you know what, Steve? They found enough gold to keep the ranches going for a couple of years.
When was that, Barry?
Well, it must have been the beginning of the Depression. Hit us hard in this part of Texas.
Dad,
Yes, son?
I go on that camping trip next week.
What camping trip?
The one I go on every year during Easter vacation.
You know there are 4 boys and their fathers that go, the Johnson boys.
Oh, yes. I think I remember you telling me.
Well, anyway, Max usually takes me, but this year he doesn't want to leave Rena. And I was
You better cancel your plans this year.
Why?
Because I have some work for you to do here on the ranch next week,
That's my Easter vacation.
which you'll be spending working on the ranch.
But, Dad...
End of discussion. I know that look, Steve. But I make the rules around here, not your mother.
Max, please don't close me out like this. We're supposed to share things, remember?
I'm not closing you out on this, honey. There's just nothing more to tell.
Well, I don't believe that.
Well, it's the truth.
I want to know as much about you as I can, Max. I'm going to spend the rest of my life with you.
But you already know all there is to know about me. Rena, honey, remember when we were in high school and you and Justin and me and whoever I was seeing at the time would go out on double dates? I mean, do you remember how much we used to confide in one another?
Yes, I remember.
I believe that you know more about me than anyone on this earth.
Yes, I know a great deal. Except I don't know anything about your parents.
Rena, honey, listen, as we grow older, you'll know more.
I want to know right now, Max.
Rena, honey, what is this thing you have about family all of a sudden?
Don't you think family is important?
Well, of course I do.
Well, you'd never know it from this place.
Oh, what are you talking about, Rena?
Well, look around you. There isn't a single family portrait anywhere to be seen. Of the Decker family, I mean. You'll notice that I have a photograph of my mother and father on my dressing room table.
Well, there's an explanation for that.
What?
None of us likes to have our picture taken. Except maybe Elena, and I seriously doubt that you'd want to put up one of the kinds of photos she's been having taken lately.
You're talking about the publicity thing she did for Billy Joe Wright, aren't you?
I sure am.
She told you she didn't do anything wrong, Max. And I don't believe she ever posed in any of those skimpy outfits he had for her.
Well, let's just not talk about it, okay?
All right, but what I am interested in talking about
Look,
is...
let's just drop the whole subject, all right?
All right. I give up. I won't ask you any more personal questions. For now.
Look, honey. Forget about the past. The future is what's important.
I think you're being way too hard on Steve Barrett. He's been looking forward to this camping trip for months now. It's an annual thing, and he
I
always...
was away for 5 years, remember? Now, how was I supposed to know?
I mentioned it to you.
You never said anything about being an annual camping trip.
Well, now that you know about it, why don't you go with him?
Because I already made other plans for him.
But it's a perfect opportunity for you and Steve to get close again.
There's too much work to do here on the ranch, and I want Steve to help with the chores. Jeb can tell you how much we need him.
I gotta get down the stairs.
Now, tell Jenny what happened
Look,
down there.
it's between you and Jenny, all right? It's none of my business.
Well, it's obvious whose side he's taking.
Barry, we're talking about Steve.
Jeb knows that we lost 2 good men last week. Everyone wants to be a rodeo star. No one wants to put in a hard day's work anymore.
Barrett, please. Steve really has his heart set on this camping trip.
But he has to learn how the ranch is run. When I was his age, I worked weekends, holidays. I never got any time off.
You're being unfair. Steve does a lot of work around this house.
Yes, he reads books. When he's not reading, he's running track.
Honey, he's still a little boy.
Well, maybe it's time he grew into being a young man.
You're being unreasonable.
I don't think so.
Barry, please, it'll be good for him and for you.
No,
Max can take care of everything while you're gone.
I don't want to discuss it, Jenny.
Barrett, listen, you're not being fair to yourself either. Steven's your son. You should be spending more time with him.
Not on fun and games. I don't have time for that.
You don't have time for your son, but you certainly do have time to come to town to check up on me, don't you?
Jenny, don't get started on that again.
I saw you at the Top of the World Club when I was having lunch with Rena the
You
other
saw
day.
somebody who looked like me. I wasn't there. I ask any of the hands, they'll tell you that I never left the ranch.
I'm not going to talk to the ranch hands about you. You know that.
Well, then you'll just have to take my word for it. Because I was not at the World building. I was not at the Top of the World Club.
I want to know what's going on.
I'll tell you what's going on. You're playing some kind of weird game with me. And I don't like it!
Will I need a jacket, honey?
Well, it depends on where you ride. If you go into the woods, yes, you do. Otherwise, the sun is pretty hot.
I'm going to the house first to visit Ginny and Kate. You want to come?
Yeah, sure. I can spare a minute.
Ah.
Hey, hello, Ricky. Hi, Max. Rena?
Hi, how are you? I haven't seen you in a while.
Well, last time I stopped by, you were staying in town with your folks.
Well, I'm back now.
Hey, it looks like I caught you two on your way out, huh?
Yeah, well, I was just on my way back to work after a visit with Ginny and Kate.
Can I have a word with you before you leave?
Well, sure.
Honey, why don't I leave now and I'll meet you back here later on.
Okay. See you this evening.
Bye, darling.
Bye.
Bye, Ricky.
Bye-bye, Rena.
Nice seeing you.
Well, you look like a man who's got something serious on his mind.
Yeah, I do. It's about Elena.
Well, you can stop right there because
She's
I'm not
our
interested in anything
sister,
about it.
Max.
I don't care. I'm not interested.
Look, I know you two have had your problems in the past. I've had my problems with Elena, too, but I think we should set all that aside now and give her a little support.
Well, you can give her all the support you want, Ricky, but I don't want anything to do with her. Now, I gotta go to work.
Will you stop being so stubborn and listen to me for a minute?
What's the point? Now, that girl's gonna turn out just like her mother, and I want no part of it.
So nice out here on the porch, Kate. I just love this view.
You and Max have quite a view from your place, too.
Yes, we do.
You know, I never saw Max as happy as he was when you came back. He was miserable while you were gone.
I was miserable, too. Max told me that you took real good care of him.
You know, I love that boy. Every bit as much as one of my own.
Yeah, I know you love him. I'm happy to be back here, Kate.
Are you?
Most of the time.
Rena, have you got some kind of problem you'd like to talk about?
It's not really a problem, Kate.
Well, what is it then?
Every time I ask Max about his mama and his daddy, he just clams up.
Oh, I see.
What were they like?
Well, you know, Max's father was the foreman of the Marshall Ranch.
Yes.
Well, he was a kind man, but stern, quiet, and a very hard worker. And he was also a very handsome man. Max looks a lot like him.
I never met him.
Well, you and Justin and Max spent a lot of time together when you were high school age.
Yeah, but we always met here or in town. I never met Mr. Decker out here. I never went to the Decker house.
Well, he was generally down at the corral. How that man loved horses. Same way Max does.
What was his mother like?
You're just full of questions today, aren't you?
Well, they seem perfectly natural to me.
Maybe.
Aren't you going to answer my questions?
I think you better ask Max about that.
I have, and he won't discuss his mother.
Well, that's up to him.
Kate, what's the big mystery?
I think you have to ask Max to tell you that.
So, what is all this sudden interest about Elena?
She needs her family now.
Is that why she left the ranch? Because she needs us so much?
Left the ranch? You all but threw her out, Max.
No. She left of her own accord.
All right, maybe she did, but she can't cut it now without our help.
Why? What's going on with her now?
Well, she's getting ready to record this song that Jeb Hampton wrote for her, and she's scared to death.
What's she scared of?
Failure.
Failure. She's 18 years old. What does she know about failure?
She knows a lot about feeling like she's not loved. I'm sure that doesn't help her any.
Now, I did my best, Ricky. I really did.
I know you did, and I know how hard it was on you, raising me and Elena. But I think if you just talk to her, you know, tell her that you're behind her in this career that she wants.
Do you want me to lie to her?
No.
Well, then I can't talk to her. Because I think she's going to fall flat on her face. Now, what does she know about singing? And what makes her think that she's going to become this big singing hit?
She hopes to become a big singing hit so she can prove to everybody that she's worth something.
She thinks that's going to solve everything.
Well, that's all she wants to try for. What's wrong with her trying?
Nothing. I just don't think she's going to succeed.
Well, that's all the more reason to be behind her.
No, I don't want to get involved. I've washed my hands of her.
Well, can't you bend a little bit? Can't you forgive and forget?
Now, where Elena is concerned, I've done more than my share of that.
Look, how about just one more time?
No.
That's it? You're not even going to think about it? That's it. Okay. Thanks for nothing, big brother.
Oh, send him in. Elliot, how are you?
I'm fine, Vicky.
You look fine. I understand you found an apartment.
Yes, I managed to get it in order. How are you doing?
No complaints?
Good. I called Stryker's office and was told he was here at KVIK.
Oh, yes, he's in the legal department at the moment, but he should be through shortly.
Ah, well, I'll wait outside.
No, please. Wait in here. I'd love to visit with you.
Well, I know you're busy.
No, it can wait. Now, come on. Please, sit down.
Thank you.
You know, everyone is very pleased with Dennis's work here.
Oh, well, that's good. A few more weeks, he'll be pressuring you for more responsibility.
Yes. Oh, when I was his age, I thought I could learn everything there was to know about the newspaper business in, 3 or 4 weeks.
Yes. I'd forgotten that you started with your father's newspaper.
Yes, the good old days.
Were they really?
Probably not, but that's how I remember them.
Well, that's how I remember my early years, too.
How's your book coming?
Oh, not too well. I haven't worked on it for several days.
Well, I imagine moving interrupted your concentration.
Well, no, it's not the moving.
Oh? Is there some way I can help?
Oh, no, thank you. But I hope Stryker can. I'm here to talk to him about getting permission to leave the country.
Kate said you stopped by a little while ago.
Yes, but you were taking a nap, and I didn't want to disturb you.
Tell me, how was your ride?
Oh, it was terrific. I rode all the way out to the West Range.
Oh, you had quite a ride.
It was nice. I'm sorry you can't ride anymore.
Well, the baby's more important.
Are you feeling better since our lunch the other day?
Yes, I'm fine now. I am a little embarrassed about all that, though, Rena.
Why? Because we left before lunch was served?
Well, I just wonder what those people at the top of the World Club think about that.
Oh, don't worry about it, honey. Alfredo's used to seeing me leave before the meal was served. When I was married to Kevin, half the time we'd get into a fight before the entree was served, and then I'd storm out of the place. It was terrible.
I understand Steve had supper with you last night. He had a wonderful time.
Good.
I suspect, however, that he invited himself.
We enjoyed having him.
Are you sure he wasn't any trouble?
I am kind of worried about him, though, Jenny. He seems to be having some sort of problem.
Did he say anything to you and Max?
No, but we gathered it has something to do with Barrett. We'd like to help if we can. Now, if it's none of our business, you just tell me, all right?
Oh, Rena, no. It's okay. I really do appreciate your concern.
Well, you know how much Steve means to Max, and to me, too.
Yes, I know.
Is there a problem with Barrett?
Yes, he really hasn't been the same ever since Colonel Austin came in from Houston.
Is that the man that presented him with the medal?
Yes. But he presented the identical medal to Elliot Carrington.
I'm not skipping town, if that's what you're thinking.
No, I wasn't thinking that.
Well, I won't leave unless I can get the permission from the court and Dr. De Silva, of course.
Well, I'm sure if it's important enough, Stryker will be able to help you.
I don't know exactly how to proceed. I suppose I should have to get De Silva's permission first and then take it from there.
Have you discussed this with Dr. De Silva?
Well, not directly. I hope that Stryker can tell me whether it's possible from the legal standpoint. And if it's not possible, well...
Well, where do you plan to go?
To Thailand. To see if I can find a man named Roger Williams.
Who's Roger Williams?
The key to my past. And my future as well.
Obviously, this has to do with what happened in Cambodia.
Yes. When Colonel Austin was here, he told me that Barrett Marshall and I weren't the only survivors of the prison camp. It is believed that Roger Williams also escaped.
Was he in the Army?
No, he was a correspondent, too. He was born in England, as I recall, but he wrote for several European papers.
Well, has his escape been confirmed?
Not officially. But Austin is quite certain there's something to it.
Is that all you have to go on, Elliot?
Oh, no. I've been in touch with several old contacts in Asia, and I've got some leads that I'd like to follow through on.
I see. And it appears that this Roger Williams is in Thailand?
Well, yes, he's been seen there.
By people you trust?
Yes, by several people that I trust. Of course, that's no guarantee that I'll find him, but, well, I have to try.
Well, it sounds fairly expensive.
Well, I have the money that the publishing company advanced on my book.
Then I gather you want to leave as quickly as possible.
If the court grants permission, yes.
Do you think that this Roger Williams can prove that you're not a traitor?
The only way anyone will ever believe that I'm not the traitor is to find out who the traitor was.
Rena, I really don't know what to do about this situation. Barrett's mood swings are so abrupt that it's really affecting Steve.
That can't be easy on you either.
No, but Steve's still a child.
It must be very confusing for him.
He and Barrett were just starting to get close, and now it's like Barrett's a totally different man.
And Max is always so calm and easygoing.
I guess that's why Steve enjoys being around Max so much.
Ginny, it doesn't upset you that Steve goes to Max for comfort, does it?
Oh, no. Max was like a father figure to Steve all those years that Barrett was in Cambodia. I'm nothing but grateful to Max. He's been a great help.
Well, he wants to continue to help, honey, but he doesn't want to cause any problems or come between Steve and Barrett.
I want very much for Max and Steve's relationship to continue.
That's what Max wants, too. But if you think it's going to upset Barry in any way...
I'm just going to have to learn how to cope with and deal with Barrett's moods.
If there's anything we can do to help, please let us know, huh?
Thank you, Rena.
Ginny? Why did Elliot's getting a medal set Barry off?
Oh, he felt cheated. Felt that it really didn't mean anything.
Because Elliot wasn't in the military?
No. Because Barrett feels that Elliot is a traitor. He thinks that Elliot was the one who gave the escape plans to the Cambodian guards.
Well, now, there's no proof of that, is there?
No, except that Barrett was there.
Well, did he tell the people that who were debriefing him?
No, he felt that it was just his word against Elliot's.
What do you think? Do you believe that Elliot was the traitor?
I used to. But I just don't know now.
You know what you might do?
What's that?
You might talk to Elliot. Because he just might have some answers that'll help you out with Barrett.
But do you think the judge will grant Elliot permission to leave the country?
It's possible, but I don't think the court will let him go alone.
You're not thinking of going, are you?
The man's my responsibility. He's been remanded to my custody.
Now, honey, you are not well enough to go traipsing halfway around the world looking for someone who may not even be alive.
Calm down, honey. I'm not planning on going with Elliot.
You're sure?
Yes, I'm sure. I thought I might call Colonel Austin, have somebody from the Army go with him.
Well, I don't see why the Army would want to get involved.
Oh, I think there are a lot of people in government interested in finding out what happened in that prison.
Yeah, I suppose you do have a point there.
Well, that's about it. Ready to go.
When are you going to see Judge Walker?
I thought that I would stop by his office on the way to the World Oil building.
Well, you're certainly not wasting any time, are you?
Elliot told me to get right on it.
Listen, do you want to eat at home tonight, or would you rather eat out?
If you don't mind, I prefer to eat at home.
Okay.
Have you heard from Rena?
No, I haven't, but I did talk to Sam.
Oh, yeah? How is she?
Doing much better.
She got over Justin Marshall yet?
Oh, that's going to take quite a while, honey, but she does sound much more relaxed.
She gonna stay in Austin or what?
I don't think she really knows what she wants to do.
Except avoid Justin Marshall.
Yes, she's certain she wants to do that.
Well...
What is it, Stryker?
Don't you think I ought to call Rena?
Leave her alone, honey.
Don't you think it's odd we haven't heard from her?
No, I don't.
Oh, it wouldn't hurt to check. Aren't you worried?
No, I'm not. I'm sure she's doing just fine. If she weren't, we would have heard from her.
You're saying we only hear from her when she's in trouble.
No, I'm saying we should give her time alone with Max. Maybe we can drive out there this weekend, okay?
Okay, darling. I'll wait till tomorrow.
All right. Try not to be late for dinner.
I won't. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey, Jeff. How you doing, Courtney? Hey, Nita.
Hey, Nita, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good.
Listen, you can have any table here you want because lunch rush is over and the supper crowd hasn't gotten here yet. Oh.
Okay, yeah. Is this all right for you here?
Yes, it's fine with me.
All right. There you go.
Oh. You know what you want?
Just a snack, but I don't know what.
Nita, I think we'll just think about it for a while.
You do that.
Hey, Maggie. Jeb, how are you doing?
Hey, Maggie, how are you?
Fine.
Can you want to sit down for a while?
Oh, sure, I'd just love to.
Whoop.
Listen, why don't you just give me a wave when you decide what you want to order, okay?
Okay, thanks, Nita.
Hey, listen, Jeb, how is Jenny?
She's fine, she's fine.
Well, whatever happened? I never understood about Barrett and that telephone call the other day. I never heard any more about that.
Oh, no, it's just something about a fold, you know, that it's nothing, no big deal, nothing to worry about, Maggie.
Well, now, you know my nature, Jeb. I'm just one to worry.
Yeah. Hey, you sure do look pretty today, I'll say that.
Well, thank you.
Is, special occasion or something?
Dwayne's coming into town.
Who is Dwayne?
Oh, he drives an 18-wheeler.
18-wheeler? Say, Maggie, let me ask you something. Is he just a friend, or is he like maybe...
Yes, he is just a friend.
Oh, come on, Maggie. He's more than that.
So, you want anything to drink while you're waiting for your order?
Courtney?
Yeah. I think I'll have a club soda.
Okay.
Oh, beer. Draft.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, Ricky.
How are you, Nita?
Hi, Ricky.
Hey, Ricky, how you doing? Sit down with us, huh?
Oh, thanks.
How are you, Ricky?
Pretty good. How are you?
Can I get you anything?
Could I have a beer, please?
Sure.
So, how's the songwriter who's gonna make $1 million?
What, you talking to me?
Well, you wrote a song called It's All Over Town, didn't you?
Well, yeah, I wrote a song like that. I gave it to Elena.
Well, they're getting ready to demo it, and she's hoping to sell it to a record company.
You're kidding me.
No.
Really? That's terrific. When is she going to record it?
Well, any day now. Didn't you tell them about it?
Well, now, Ricky, you know how it is. Anything Billy Joe Wright is connected with, you just can't take too seriously.
Well, what do you think? It's just a lot of talk, Maggie?
Look, anything Billy Joe's got anything to do with, I tend to be a little bit skeptical about.
Well, it sounds like you're a little more than skeptical.
Ricky, let me ask you something. I mean, do they have the money to record it and everything?
Well, I understand they're getting it. I don't know too much about it, though.
You know, Nita knows more about it than anybody else. I think you ought to ask her for the details.
About what?
Nita, about the song that I gave Elena, about her recording and stuff like that.
Honey, why don't you sit down here and you just tell Jeb all about how Billy Joe Wright is going to make himself a rich man.
Now, Maggie, you are in for a big surprise when that record becomes a hit.
I sure am.
Well, come on, Nita, tell me about it.
Here's a little something to tide you over until dinner, honey.
Oh, thanks. Hey, listen, can you sit down with me for a minute?
Sure can. Everything is ready except the potatoes. Here's that glass of wine that I have.
It's right here. Oh. There you go.
Thank you.
So, what else did Ginny have to say about Steve?
I think I told you everything, honey. She wants you to continue your relationship with him.
I certainly hope so. I'm really fond of that boy. But Barrett is his father.
Well, then it's up to him to get closer to his son.
But I still don't want him to think I'm trying to take his place.
Ginny seems to think that she can handle Barrett.
Well, I hope so. Hey, did you get a chance to see Kate?
Mm-hmm. She's fine. We had a nice talk.
Yeah?
What did Ricky have to say?
Nothing much.
Nothing new at all?
Well, he had some bad news.
What?
Well, it was just Elena. She's got this crazy idea that she's going to become a recording star.
Maybe she will. Lord knows there are plenty of singers out there with hit records that couldn't even touch a candle to her.
Well, she's certainly all fired up about it, and so is Ricky.
Sounds like those two are getting along now.
I guess so.
How about you and Elena?
Now, that's a closed subject. You know that, Rena.
All right.
I think I'll get a beer.
Tell me about your Aunt Maggie.
What about her?
I just want to know about her. Max, tell me.
You know all about her. You've known her all your life. When we were in high school, we used to eat at her place every week.
Yes, but I still don't know much about her.
Well, what do you want, her life story?
Yes.
Well, let's see. She didn't like ranch life. She moved into town. She opened up a restaurant, lived happily ever after, okay?
Did she get along with your mother? Were they very close?
Now, that is a closed subject, too.
Max.
I'm going out to lock up the barn.
And right now, they are busy with this trailer.
What are they doing with it?
Well, they're fixing it up so they can go on tour.
Wow, they're already planning a tour?
Yeah.
They're really going all out, huh?
Well, nothing's going to come of it.
Well, you sound just like my brother.
Does Max know about all this?
Well, I told him about it about the record today, and he sounds just like you. He thinks nothing's gonna come of it.
Max always was real sensible.
Well, I think you're both gonna turn out to be wrong.
Well, I hope so. But Billy Joe and Elena together, now that's one losing combination.
Now, Maggie, I do not think so.
Maggie, Elena's a darn good singer.
Well, we'll see.
Well, Nita, how you feeling?
Oh, I'm feeling good, thank you. Good. I don't think I'm gonna have any problem having this baby.
Well, I don't think so either.
You know, that ring, it's real pretty.
Thank you.
Well, it's gonna look a lot prettier with a gold wedding band next to it.
Yeah, well, one of these days.
Well, let's not make it too long.
You sure do look nice today, Maggie.
Oh, that's because Maggie's got a date here.
Never mind.
With Dwayne.
With Dwayne?
Dwayne. Dwayne, yeah, he drives an 18-wheeler.
Oh.
Ricky, are you still working for Alex Wheeler as a bodyguard?
Well, I do all kinds of security work for World Oil.
Then you know a lot about that sort of thing, right?
Yeah, I guess I do. Why?
Well, I've been thinking about getting a better security system for the clinic because of all the drugs we keep there.
Well, you want me to stop by and see what I think needs to be done?
Yeah, would you do that?
Sure, I'll come by tomorrow.
Good.
Yo, excuse me.
Hey, where's Maggie going?
That's Dwayne.
Barrett, what in the world is wrong with you?
There's nothing wrong with me.
You've snapped at everybody today.
I haven't snapped. I'm busy. I have things to do.
You know, I don't mind if it's me. I'm an adult and I can deal with it. But what are you doing to Steven?
Don't start acting like some mother hen.
He looks up to you. He admires you. You're confusing him.
I don't see how.
You have been jumping on that boy all day long. First it was the heifer. Then it was the new foal.
I just don't want him growing up to be a sissy.
I hardly think that's going to happen.
He's lived for 5 years in a house full of women.
So you're going to compensate for that by shouting at him?
I didn't shout. I just don't want him treating all the animals on this place like personal pets.
There's nothing wrong with caring about the animals.
Not if it's done in moderation. But you encourage him to care too much. It's sentimental, and I don't like it.
You don't like it?
No, and I don't like what I see happening to him.
And I don't like what I see happening to you.
What are you talking about?
You followed me into town.
I don't understand.
I saw you at the top of the world dining room.
But I warned you not to upset
What
yourself.
were you doing there?
Jenny, I never went into town. Ask any of the hands. I was here on the ranch all day.
It was real awful, Mom.
I heard about that. Tell me, how did he break his leg?
He was pole vaulting.
Oh, honey, that's pretty dangerous. I hope that you don't have to do anything like that.
Oh, come on, Mom. I don't even do the pole vault.
No, but you talked about doing some high hurdles, right?
I gave up the high hurdles. I like long distance running better.
Okay.
You know what I found in the attic this afternoon?
What?
My baby crib. I could fix it up for the new baby.
I'd like that very much. You're a sweet guy, you know that?
Oh, don't get all mushy, okay?
Okay. Tell me, did you do your homework? I don't want you to stay up half the night.
I did it all in study hall. With Easter vacation coming up, none of the teachers like to do much work either.
Oh, is that how it works?
I have something to do in my room.
Wait a minute, Steve. Hen house needs cleaning.
I'll do it tomorrow.
Make sure that you do that.
Dad,
Yeah?
I go on that camping trip next week.
Well, now, I think you already know what my answer is about that. You're not going.
Dad!
Steve, why don't you go inside and see what Grandma's doing, okay?
Okay.
Barrett, I really wish you'd reconsider about that camping trip. It means so much to him.
It is out of the question. There's too much to do around here. Now, for days, I've been trying to get into town to pick up some more ledgers like Granddad used. And I just don't even have time for that.
Well, I'll pick them up for you tomorrow.
What do you mean, you'll pick them up?
Well, I'm planning to go to town tomorrow.
You're not going anywhere. You understand? You're not leaving this ranch.
Join us each weekday at this time for the continuing story of Texas.
I'm not very hungry. I think I'll get ready for school.
Steve?
Mom.
Where are you going?
To get ready for the school bus.
What was the matter with your breakfast?
Nothing.
Said he wasn't hungry.
You can't go to school on an empty stomach.
Oh, Mom.
Stephen.
Okay, I'll try and finish my glass of milk.
You coming down with a cold?
No, I told Grandma I felt fine.
Okay, go ahead.
Something's bothering that boy. What is it?
All right now, little fella. This'll only take a minute. All right, now you just take it easy and don't bust your seams, because remember, you hold the key to Uncle Bernie's future.
Hey, Bernie! Hey, what's wrong with you?
Nothing. I just didn't expect you back so soon, that's all.
You gotta quit acting so jumpy, buddy.
Yeah, I know. I thought maybe you were Chris.
Hey, you're really worried about him, ain't you?
Yeah, I am. You saw what a mess he made of this place the other night.
Well, in the first place, we don't know it was Chris for sure.
Well, just who do you think it could have been then?
Well, I don't know, but if you keep on jumping every time I see your shadow, Linda's gonna get suspicious. And I don't want her to know anything about what happened here.
Why not?
Because if she thought that somebody broke into this trailer when she was gone, she's never gonna set foot inside this place again.
Where is Elena, anyway?
Well, she's outside bringing in some clothes from the car. Hey, what's this thing?
What does it look like?
This is the lamp you fixed for Elena, ain't it?
Yeah, it was. Got smashed up along with everything else the other night.
Yeah. Well, it's a good thing she didn't come to the trailer yesterday. You better go hide that thing in the closet before Elena sees it.
Yeah.
Hey, you got everything there, darling, huh?
I think so. Hi, Bernie.
Hi, Elena, what you got there?
There's just a couple of costumes I picked up at the cleaners. And Billy Joe and I figured it would be more convenient if we left him here. Hey. What happened to this lamp?
Texas, starring Beverly McKinsey.
So that's what the problem is. Steve was really looking forward to this camping trip, and Barrett just doesn't have the time.
Well, he ought to make more time.
I'm sure that he'd like to, but he says that he's just too busy.
Now, a man should never be too busy for his family. You know, there's nothing on this ranch that Max and I can't handle.
I'm sure of that.
Well, we ran the ranch while Barrett was away, and I'm pretty sure we can keep it running for a few days longer.
Maybe Barrett's right. Maybe this trip isn't so important after all.
Well, from the way Steve looked this morning, I'd say it is.
Once Steve gets over the initial disappointment, he might even enjoy being here, helping his father out in the ranch.
Steve hates chores. Always does.
Well, he says that he wants to do his share of work.
Well, of course he does. Because he thinks that's what his father wants to hear.
I don't think so. I think it's his own idea.
Is Barrett the reason Steve is so unhappy?
I think it's only temporary.
They were all counting on me, and now I have to tell them I can't go.
Well, that's how it happens sometimes.
Yeah, but it means they're going to be one tent short, and mine's the only one that's big enough to hold 3 guys.
Did you talk to your dad about this, Steve? I mean, did you tell him how important this trip is to you?
He's not interested.
Oh, I think he is.
He's always in such a bad mood, I never want to be around him.
Well, your dad, he's got a lot on his mind lately, and, well, you know that running a ranch isn't a very easy job.
When you and Grandma ran the ranch, it didn't bother you.
Yeah, I know. But you gotta remember, Steve, that, well, your dad, he's been through an awful lot these last few years, and it's gonna take him a little bit longer to settle down and, well, get in the swing of things and take things as easy as you and I do.
I don't see why.
Well, it's like... Come on over here and sit down next to me. It's like... Remember when you had the chicken pox a couple years ago and you had to stay home in bed for a couple weeks?
Yeah, they wouldn't let me read or anything.
Yeah. Well, you remember how hard it was for you to get back in the swing of things when you went back to school?
It took me forever to catch up with the other guys.
Yeah. And that's just what it's like for your dad right now. He's trying to play catch-up, but it's just harder for him because, well, for the last 5 years, he just never knew from one day to the next whether he'd be coming home or not.
Yes, I know.
Now, see, when you were sick, you had your mom and your grandma to help take care of you. But all those years in Cambodia, your dad, all he had was himself. You got to make allowances for that.
I know.
Now, he'll do his very best to help himself to forget all those terrible thoughts, but every once in a while, those memories, they'll come back. And they'll make him sad or unhappy, even scared.
I had nightmares when I had the chicken pox, so my mom had to put a nightlight in my room.
Do you remember how those nightmares made you feel?
Sort of.
Well, sometimes your dad feels like that a lot. So you just gotta do your best to help him any way you can. You wanna know how you can do that? Just by being a little patient. And look, for instance, I know that this camping trip means an awful lot to you. But it won't be the end of the world if you don't get to go on it, will it?
I guess not.
Okay, then. So you just take your time and help your dad as best you can, and pretty soon you'll see all his moods, they'll begin to disappear just the way your nightmares did when your mama brought that nightlight into your room, I promise. Okay? Now, if you don't hustle out of here and get down to that bus stop, I'm gonna have to drive you all the way into school, huh?
Thanks for talking with me, Max.
Sure, buddy.
Bye.
You take it easy. Bye.
Well, it got broken.
Well, I can see it got broken. How?
Oh, it was all my fault, Elaine. After I spent all that time fixing it up, I went and tripped over the wire in the dark and just...
It looks more like you threw it across the room.
Well, I'm kind of the old bull in the china shop.
And how'd the bottom get knocked off?
Hey, Bernie must have stepped on it when he knocked it over.
Yeah, I'm real sorry, Elena.
Well, it's no big deal. I mean, it's just an old thing I found in Terry's closet.
I'll buy you another one tomorrow, okay?
No, you don't have to do that. I mean, it didn't work before you fixed it anyway.
Well, now, wait a minute. If you want to go over to the hardware store and pick up another socket, I think I might be able to fix this one up.
Really?
Yeah. We'll need some heavy-duty glue and I guess another shade.
Well, I never liked that old shade anyway.
Yeah, you see how this socket just kind of fits right in here? And if I glue these bottom pieces back on, it's just...
Hey, you know, I love to stand here and listen to you two engineers here talk about nuclear physics, but I got more important things to do, all right?
Well, don't let us stop you.
I don't intend to.
Where are you off to?
I'm going to pay a little visit to Mr. Lawrence.
Before?
I need some more money.
Any word from Chris Shaw?
No, not yet. But I wouldn't worry about it, Pete. I got a feeling he's stalling. He'll come round.
What if he doesn't?
Well, we'll just have to make other arrangements.
What about this Billy Joe Wright you keep talking about? You seem to think he's enterprising. Couldn't he handle the distribution?
Oh, I don't think that's such a good idea.
Why not? We're already doing business with him. If he has the kind of ambition you say he has, why waste him on that nickel and dime project with the singer?
I'm not sure Billy Joe's ready for bigger things.
I've been checking around, and he's got a record.
You sure about that?
Yes. You sound surprised.
Well, I am. Somehow I didn't think he'd gone that far yet.
Well, he spent 3 years in Huntsville prison for armed robbery. Only get this. He used a toy gun, and he managed to wreck the getaway car.
That doesn't surprise me one bit.
You sure you wouldn't like to give this ride a try?
Well, let's wait. If Shaw doesn't come round, then we'll see.
What do we need more money for?
Expenses.
What expenses? Wait, I thought that you said that we settled everything with the studio.
I have. You see, I've got it all down right here in my account book. Look, I've already reserved the time and paid for the studio up front. I got the band all taken care of, and I'm even paying some feller just to copy down the arrangements.
Well, then what is the money for?
Well, that professional photographer that I brought over to the chicken coop to see you the other night, well, he says he's willing to take your publicity shots, and I think I can get Mr. Lawrence to pay for them.
How much does the photographer want?
$500.
$500?
That's the way professionals are, darling. They charge for the services.
I know that, but $500 just for taking a couple of pictures?
That's just the point, sugar. They ain't gonna be just pictures. These are gonna be works of art.
Well, I don't need a work of art, Billy Joe.
Well, sure you do. The first thing they judge a singer is by her publicity material. And this White Eagle, he does the best.
White Eagle?
Yeah, he's part Indian, and he does real high fashion stuff. You know, he's been in all those fancy magazines.
Oh, Billy Joe, I don't need high fashion stuff. I'm a singer.
Well, this guy also does album covers up in Nashville. He's a friend of Jeter. That's how I came to meet him.
Well, what does Jeter know about photography?
He says this guy is the best. And that's exactly what we want, Elena, the best. No more cutting corners.
I don't know. It seems to me like this whole thing is just getting way out of hand.
No, it ain't. Because I'll tell you, I've got it all recorded right down here in this little book. Everything's recorded. That way we know just where the money's going and where it's coming from.
What makes you so sure this Lawrence character is going to come up with another $500?
Because Mr. Lawrence there likes the best, and he ain't going to settle for anything that ain't first class, especially this operation.
You want me to go along with you?
No, I think I better handle this negotiation by myself.
Well, wait. In that case, I'll go to the store and get the stuff that Bernie needs for that lamp.
See you, buddy.
What about your problem with Barrett? Is that only temporary?
What makes you think that Barrett and I have a problem?
If you don't want to talk about it, I won't press it. But have you told Barrett the truth? Does he know that the baby is Ryan Connor's child?
No. No, I haven't told him yet.
Any plan to?
It's not the time.
Ginny, there is not ever going to be a good time.
I know that. I just can't do it now.
All right, honey. But just remember, Ginny, anytime you want to talk about your problems, I'm willing to listen.
Thank you, Kate.
I love you, Ginny. I love you as though you were one of my own. And I can't bear to see you so upset.
I'll be fine. I may need some time, but I'll work everything out. Don't worry, okay?
Max?
Hey, Barry. Say, listen, Ruxton, he delivered that fence wire you ordered, but Jeb thinks it's a couple thousand feet short.
Yeah, okay. I got the invoice in the study. I'll check into it. You seem to be having quite a talk with my son.
Do you mind?
No. Why should I mind?
I don't know. It's just the way you asked the question.
There's no reason why you shouldn't talk with Steve. I know he admires you.
Hey, listen, Barry, I'm not trying to replace you.
I never thought you were.
It's just that while you were gone, Steve and we became pretty good friends.
I appreciate that. Boy Steve's age needs a father figure.
Yeah, and Steve had you.
Well, Steve was pretty little when I went away. I doubt that he remembered much.
Well, that's where you're wrong. All he ever did was talk about you.
All boys need a hero. For some, it's Superman. Steve, it was an absent father.
You know, I don't think you know how much he really cares. I mean, he talked and talked about you, about the things you do when you get home. He never gave up on you.
Well, I'm glad to know that someone in the family kept the faith.
Look, Barry, Steve needs you. Listen, I was just around. I was just somebody for him to talk to. Now, we never pretended I was anything more than just a buddy.
I understand that, Max.
You know, it's only natural for a kid to come round and talk to his buddy when he's having a disagreement with his parents.
You're talking about the camping trip.
Yeah, the camping trip.
That's all that boy seems to be able to think about these days.
Well, it's important to him, Barry. This is a big event in his life. It's part of Easter vacation.
Are all the fathers going with their sons?
Yeah, most of them.
But until now, you've always gone with Steve, haven't you?
Yes?
And did Steve ask you to go this year?
No, that was just something he assumed you'd do.
He told you that?
Yeah. That's all he could talk about while you were gone, how this would be something you'd do when you'd come home.
I see.
Listen, Barry, you know, it's still not too late. Now, listen, I'd be more than happy to take on your chores if you decide to change your mind.
Well, I'm sorry, Mr. Lawrence, for not calling up first, but I'm just so wound up in my work that I just forgot.
Quite all right, I understand. Actually, I was glad you decided to drop by.
You were?
Yeah. It just so happens I was discussing you with an associate of mine, Pete Parnell, down in Galveston.
Well, is he interested in Elena, too?
Oh, Mr. Parnell and I share a great many interests. I was telling him about hearing Elena sing the other night and how impressed I was with her.
Well, Mr. Lawrence, I'm real glad to hear that because, well, to tell the truth, I came here to ask a little favor of you.
There, let me give you a hand with them. You have any trouble at the hardware store?
I don't know. I hope that's the right thing.
Oh, yeah, that'll do just fine.
But I meant to tell you that I picked up some sandwich stuff at the grocery store. I figured since you don't want to go out till after dark, you might get hungry.
Well, thank you, I did. As a matter of fact, I finished up the rest of the ham just now.
Well, in that case, I think that you should earn your keep by getting started on the lamp.
Yes, ma'am. Where's that screwdriver I was using the other day?
Here.
Thanks.
I'll just clean up a little bit while you're
Okay.
doing that.
This isn't going to be as difficult as I thought. If I just fit these bottom pieces in here. Hey, easy, all right? Okay.
I'm sorry, Bernie. I guess I'm just real nervous. That's the second glass I broke today.
Yeah, I thought you seemed a little bit on edge.
I think I'm just real worried about that recording session.
Well, I can understand that. You got a lot riding on that demo tape.
Yeah. Almost $3,000.
Uh-huh. And you think that's your whole future, right?
Yes. That is the way I feel.
Well, if it's that bad, maybe I ought to give you something to make it better.
So, what's this favor you want to ask of me?
Well, I met up with this here photographer, see?
Photographer?
Yeah, see, Elena's gonna need some real sharp publicity photos. I mean, you know, something real snappy we can send along with the demo tape so all those executives can see that she looks just as good as she sounds.
Makes sense.
Right. And I even tried to take some pictures before myself once, but just didn't turn out. I mean, that sort of thing's just not my bag.
Yeah, it's best to leave that sort of thing to the professionals.
Well, that's exactly the feeling I had. The exact feeling. You know, and, I'll tell you something. When Jeter, introduced me to this photographer, and, it turned out that he's the one who takes pictures of Nashville for album covers, well, I figured I finally found my man.
And did he agree?
Well, yeah. I mean, he's real eager to take them publicity shots.
And what is it you want from me?
Well,
Now, I'd be happy to look over the prints and help you choose one.
No, that's not exactly what I had in mind. You see, Mr. Lawrence, what I really want is, the money so I can pay this guy.
I see. And what do you think these photos will set you back?
Well, he tells me what with the extra prints and everything, it's going to add up to maybe, about 500. Now, I realize that seems a lot, but you got to keep in mind, this guy's a professional. I mean, there's a lot of high fashion stuff, and he,
There I go. That should just about cover it. Don't you think? No, you keep that, Billy Joe. There's bound to be some other expenses.
Yeah, but sir, this here is 10 $100 bills.
I know.
Well, you mean, Woo! Well, I'll tell you, Mr. Lawrence, you're not going to regret this. I mean, this here's going to be money that's well spent.
As a good book says, Billy Joe, cast your bread upon the waters.
Oh, well, I know, and, hey, I know you're a busy man, so I'm just not gonna, I'm gonna get out of your way right now.
Just a minute, Billy Joe.
Yeah?
Before you go, I have a favor I'd like to ask of you.
What are they?
Oh, just something to help you relax.
You mean like tranquilizers?
No, more like aspirin.
I don't know, Bernie. I don't like taking pills.
Oh, it's nothing to worry about. They're real mild.
No, thank you, but I'd rather not.
Well, keep them just in case.
Look, I really don't need them, Bernie.
Well, you never know. Now, you've never done a demo tape before. You just might get real jittery.
Yeah, well, I'd rather be nervous than numb.
These aren't going to make you numb. I told you, they're not strong. Bernie would not give you something like that. Which reminds me, I have something else to give you.
What?
This.
What sort of favor did you have in mind?
Well, you remember Elena mentioning the other night that I might want to have dinner?
Yeah?
Well, I was wondering if we might make it this evening.
Well, as far as I know, it's fine.
Good.
Yeah, I mean, me and Elena, we don't have anything, that important to do, and she won't start her show
well,
until
Billy
11.
Joe, I was thinking in terms of something a little more intimate.
What do you mean?
Well, Elena is the one I really want to get to know.
And you don't want me along then, right?
That's right.
So then what you're talking about here ain't exactly a business dinner, is it?
Not exactly.
Look, Mr. Lawrence, I thought we had ourselves a business deal here.
Well, we do, Billy Joe, but then there's all kinds of business.
No, I ain't in that kind of business.
You sure? One way or another, we're all in that kind of business.
No, I'm in the record business.
Well, that's exactly what I mean. Now, you got a product to sell, and I got a service to give.
No, sir, Mr. Lawrence, I don't think I could do that.
Why not?
First of all, what you're talking about ain't business, it's personal. And, well, if you thought you were buying something like this all along, I think I'm just gonna have to go on down to L&R Studios and just get that money back to you right off the bat.
You mean call the whole thing off?
Yes, if I have to.
Don't you think that's a little foolish?
I guess it might seem that way to you, Mr. Lawrence, but, you know, you ain't the only man in Houston who's got money.
I don't bargain, Billy Joe.
I don't want to bargain. I guess there's just got to be somebody out there who's got sense enough to back Elena on her talent alone. And I'm going to tell you something, Mr. Lawrence. I'm going to find that person. And when I do, I'm going to make them so much money that even you will sit up and take notice.
Now, Billy Joe, don't say anything in anger you might regret later. Now, let's just talk this out like two civilized human beings.
You know what I think? I don't think there's anything too civilized in you or what you're suggesting here.
Billy Joe, this sort of thing goes on all the time.
Maybe, but not with my client. You know, you had me fooled. You really did. I mean, when I met you, first right off the bat, I thought you were different. You know, you got that refined voice and those fancy clothes, and I thought to myself, you're on your way up in the world, Billy Joe. That's what you are. I mean, there you are moving with real high-class people now. But I was wrong. You're no different than Chris Shaw, you know that? You just got more manners, that's all.
Well, obviously I was wrong, too. I didn't take you to be so old-fashioned. Thought you'd be more modern.
Hey, I'm as modern as the other guy. But I'm Elena's manager. And she believes in me. And I don't want anything in the world to happen to her. Not for any price.
Now, hold on, Billy Joe. You know, your age, I was a little hot-headed, too. Now, why don't you just calm down?
Look, I think this whole thing is just one big mistake, Mr. Lawrence. I'll tell you what, you don't got nothing to worry about, because you got all your money back. You're going to get all of it back, and I want to see to it that you get the rest as soon as I get my hands on it.
Billy Joe, I think the mistake's mine. I read you wrong. And I read the situation wrong. So I'd appreciate if you just accept my apology and keep the money.
Keep the money?
That's right.
No strings attached?
No strings attached. Now, we have a business deal.
Business deal.
What is it?
Well, open it and find out.
For me?
Yeah, for you.
But why?
Why not? It's a little good luck present to wish you success in your singing career.
He's very sweet, Bernie.
Did you ever have a teddy bear?
No.
Not even when you were a little kid? Well, then, let me tell you a story about a bear. You see, once there was this little kid, and well, this little kid didn't have a whole lot of friends, so he used to spend a lot of time alone. And sometimes in the middle of the night, he'd get real scared because he was just sure there were all kinds of weird, bad things out there that were going to come and get him. But he did have this one special friend he could always count on. And that friend was this teddy bear that he won tossing nickels onto a plate at the carnival.
Well, did you know him? This kid?
Oh, yeah. Well, sort of. Anyway, this bear was a magic bear.
Magic?
Oh, yeah, 'cause every time he was sure that those bad things in the dark were gonna come and carry him away, he'd just hold on to his magic bear, and before he knew it, he was as safe as he could be.
Well, does this kid you're talking about still have his bear?
No, sad to say, he doesn't.
What happened to it?
Well, after a while, that bear just got all hugged out. And it just got so dirty and mangy and falling apart that you could hardly recognize it. Only this little kid, he wouldn't let anybody wash it. He wouldn't even let anybody touch it. 'Cause this bear was the one thing in the whole world that was his, and nobody could take it away.
Really?
Yeah. You don't want to hear the rest of this.
Oh, please.
Nah, it gets real sad from here on in.
Please?
Well, one day the kid came home from school and the bear was gone.
That's terrible.
Yeah. His old man threw it away. It was. And he never forgave his old man for that. He forgave him for the whippings and all the other things, but that was the worst, throwing away that bear. Not long after that, the kid left home. He was about 11 then and never went back.
Never? Well, what did his parents do?
I doubt his old man even knew that he was gone.
Didn't he have a mother?
Nah, she died when he was 4.
Bernie? This kid you're talking about, was that you?
Ha! Who, me? Are you kidding? Well, anyway, now you got a magic bear just like that kid had. And don't you ever let anyone take him away from you.
What makes him so magical?
Well, 'cause he's going to bring you good luck. Not that you need luck, 'cause you are a very talented young lady.
I think that this is the nicest present I've ever gotten.
I bet you got nicer presents than a little old teddy bear.
No. Not that mean this much.
Well, now, are you feeling better?
Yeah, I am, Bernie. A lot better.
Well, Chris, I was expecting you.
You have?
Yeah. Well, I made you an offer. Very good offer. You're too smart to let an opportunity like that slip by.
Well, as a matter of fact, that's why I'm here.
You've considered the offer?
Yes, I have.
And?
Well, I've decided to take you up on it.
Am I to assume your other little deal didn't work out?
Well, as I told you before, it's going to take a little bit longer than I thought. But in the meantime...
In the meantime, things should go very nicely for both of us.
I have to tell you that I'm not crazy about dealing in drugs again. It's extremely risky.
Yeah, and extremely remunerative.
When do I start?
Mr. Shaw, you've already started. Pete, it's Jim. I think I got the answer to our little distribution problem.
Did Mr. Wright come through for us?
No, that negotiation didn't work out as well as I thought it would. But we got a new man on the team. Named Shaw. Christopher Shaw. I think you should talk to him and tell him a little bit about the rules of the game.
Take a look at that. It's an $80 bill from the department store for the boys' clothing.
Jenny buys Steve clothes once, twice a year. She always waits for the sales.
$80 doesn't sound like a bargain to me.
You haven't been shopping for a long time, Barry. You don't know what the prices are like these days for jeans and shirts.
He's only a boy, Grandma.
Yes, and we've managed to dress him in nice clothes without going broke. Now, if you don't want to pay that bill, give it to me. I'll pay it.
Now, don't be ridiculous.
That's exactly what you're being. I wish you'd take better care of yourself. When you get tired like this...
I'm not tired. Why do you persist in saying that I am?
Because you get riled up so easily. Your father was the same way, and your grandfather before him. Now, that's one sure thing you can say about a martial man. If he's lost his temper, he's tired.
All right, all right. I'll go to bed early tonight.
Maybe you better go see Courtney. Have a checkup.
Now, Grandma, I've had more than enough doctors for a while.
All right, but just don't press so hard.
Okay. Maybe you're right. Maybe I am driving myself too much.
I want you to enjoy your life, Barry. Please, now, don't wear yourself out worrying about things that'll take care of themselves.
Thanks for the advice, Grandma.
I think I'll change my clothes and go check out the new foal.
Have you decided on a name for it yet?
I'm not sure, but I've been thinking about calling him Maximilian. Do you like that?
Oh, I like that very much. Max would be really pleased.
Hi. I heard the refrigerator open, so I assume that you must be home.
Hi, Dad.
You know, Steve, I got to thinking about that camping trip next week, and I remembered all the fun that I used to have camping out with Dad and the Harper boys. So I talked to Max, and he's going to look after things so that you and I can go.
That's great, Dad. I'll go phone Buddy now and let him know.
I'm really glad you changed your mind about that trip.
Well, you had everyone on the ranch trying to talk me into it.
Barrett, I didn't talk to anyone about changing your mind.
Well, I know you talked to Grandma.
I talked to Kate all day long about one thing or another, but I certainly
I don't
didn't
like
mention...
you going to her behind my back.
Barrett.
She can be difficult enough without you putting crazy ideas in her head.
What crazy ideas?
That I'm losing my grip on reality. That I'm working too hard. I'm not a good father to Steve.
I didn't even think any of that, and I would not talk to Kate about it if I had.
You're my wife, Ginny. And wives are supposed to support their husbands. Take their sides.
I have always supported you.
Not lately. And I won't have it. I don't like the conspiracy that's taking place around here.
Conspiracy?
You just remember one thing, Ginny Marshall. You and I are legally married now. You just keep that in mind.
Well, here we go. Good as new, second time around.
That's great. The new shade is perfect.
Yeah, I like it better than the old one myself.
How do you think things went with Billy Joe and Mr. Lawrence? Suppose he got that money that he was after?
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised. He's getting pretty good at that sort of thing. Well, speak of the devil, how'd it go?
Great. Couldn't have gone better.
Well, did you get the money?
Yepper. And what's really important is I had a long discussion, me and Mr. Lawrence.
Oh, no. About what?
Oh, about me and you and Mr. Lawrence and a whole relationship.
Well, you didn't sign anything.
No, we didn't drop no contacts, but we did dot a few I's and cross a few T's. And I think the whole thing's going to be smooth sailing from here on in.
Look what Bernie gave me.
Well, yeah, that's real nice. Where'd you win that, Bernie?
I didn't win it.
It's a magic bear.
A magic bear?
Yeah. But I haven't shown you the most magical part of all. I was waiting till he got back.
What are you doing?
I'm winding him up, because he's got a secret.
Bernie, it's my song.
Hey, it's all over town. Well, hey, that's really something. How'd you manage that, buddy, huh?
Well, Elena left the sheet music laying around, and I got this friend who makes music boxes, and so the rest was easy.
Well, ain't that something? That's really something, ain't it, huh?
Join us each weekday at this time for the continuing story of Texas.